Yo, what's good? It's your boy Dot from Dot Me Now Coaching and Entertainment. For coaching, my links are down below. I have several different spiritual readings down below. I have a Patreon down below. In fact, Patreon saw this video before y'all on Valentine's Day, but there's also some sauce on Patreon which YouTube is never ever gonna see. I talk about wisdom from different ETs. I talk about the structure of reality and a whole bunch of other things like how to actually ascend and actually hit 5D and even way beyond 5D. I talk about a lot of things on Patreon that YouTube will just never see. So I recommend go checking that out. I have an astral projection course down below. All my social medias are down below. Everything's down below, right? Let's get into this video. Drop a like because this video is going to be fire. Subscribe if you're new. And we have another Genie Talk for you guys today. Now, a Genie Talk is pretty much where like I talk for 30 minutes about various different topics in order to just give you guys, some wisdom that I have within inside of my noggin. Um, on today's list, we're gonna talk about um the power of using the word God and how to like interface with reality and get closer to source. I'm gonna talk about like astral books. I'm gonna talk about how life force energy affects you and the different kinds of life force energies. Um, I may talk about the classification of the constellation Hydra. I'm gonna also probably mention the seven rays of light. And we're gonna talk about the pagan origins of Valentine's Day because I'm recording this on Valentine's Day, so I have to kind of ruin it for you guys. I'm just playing. I'm not trying to ruin it, but I do want to talk about this shit. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be the first topic. Now, I may not get to all the topics depending on if this video hits 30 minutes, but we gonna see how it gets, right? So to break down these pagan origins, I'm not even gonna talk to you guys. I'm gonna just use Google. Like this is shit you could literally just look up on Google, literally, bro. You know what I'm saying? So let's go to Google, my nigga. You mean? So right here it says Valentine's Day has pagan origins in the festival of Lupercalia. I might be saying that wrong, but it's a Roman celebration of spring that involved animal sacrifice and pairing man and woman together. It was actually celebrated on February 15th. You know what I'm saying? Do they tell you that right here? You know what I'm saying? The ancient Rome observed on February 15th. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they would do this the day that, like right now it's the 14th, which is when we celebrate Valentine's Day, but they did this shit on the 15th. Now eventually it got switched to like some minorly Christian holiday shit, which I'm gonna get to, but I gotta start off with here, right? So how is this John celebrated? So men sacrificed a goat and a dog, and then men ran around striking women with hides of animals, and I'm pretty sure that the blood would be on the animals too. Women lined up to be hit, believing that it was going to increase their fertility. My ear just rang like crazy. So that's confirmation, nigga. They was really doing this shit. I mean, nigga, if it's on Google, my nigga, like the fact that you could look this shit the fuck up, like we shouldn't even be like acting like there's some crazy shit that's hidden. It's not hidden. This is openly known. Um, it says men drew a woman's name from a jar to determine their partner for the festival. Now, here's this talks about how it evolved. So, as the Roman Empire became less pagan, Lupercalia evolved into a Christian celebration honoring Saint Valentine. I'm gonna get more into that. It says the day's pagan roots were still evident in the 18th century when romantic cards often featured images of Cupid, the Roman god of love. And the link between Cupid and Eros, which is like the Greek equivalent of Cupid, is just we don't gotta go into that. You know what I'm saying? But it's just anyway. Now let's read this right here. What Lupercalia is? Lupercalia was a violent and sexually charged festival in ancient Rome that celebrated fertility, purification, and good health. It was held on February 15th each year. The festival began with animal sacrifices. Then the Luperci or Luperci, however you say that, a group of priests, once again, they would whip people with stripes of animal hide. The festival also included random matchmaking and coupling. The name Lupercalia comes from the Roman fertility god Lupercus and the cave where Romulus and Remus were raised by a she wolf. You know what I'm saying? I could get deeper into that, but we never going, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of weird shit. The festival was also known as Fabura after the stripes of animal hide. This inspired the name February, the month in which the festival took place. You see? And the festival celebrated the coming of the spring, and it was dedicated to fairness, the Roman god of agriculture, as well as Romulus and Remus, you know what I'm saying? And Looper, this nigga, you know what I'm saying? Now let's talk about how it evolved to where it's at today. So Valentine's Day originated as a Christian feast day honoring a martyr named Saint Valentine, who was believed to have been executed on February 14th. And over time, through literary associations with courtly love, the day became linked with romantic love, leading to the modern celebration of exchanging cards, flowers, gifts on February 14th. Many historians believe the holiday also observed elements of the Roman pagan festival Lupercalia, which was celebrated around the same time, and things of fertility and pairing up. So yeah, Saint Valentine. You know what I'm saying? So, do they? Oh yeah, here it is. So one popular story claims that this Valentine was a priest who secretly married couples against the emperor's wishes, further connect them to the idea of love. Um, yeah. So long story short, nigga, it came from this, and then over time as it became less pagan, they switched it into this shit to honor Saint Valentine and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of weird, it's a lot of weirdo stuff. I'm not gonna lie. The shit's weird. So that's for and there's more shit I could talk about with Valentine's Day that I know about inside my head, but I don't feel like getting into that shit. You know what I'm saying? I just want to bring the proof via Google because it's literally out there, out in the open. You know what I'm saying? Now the next topic I'm gonna talk about is the power of using the word God. You know what I'm saying? Because I get it, right? People are scarred from religion. Therefore, they don't always like to say God. They prefer to say source, spirit. But I'm going to tell you the power of the word God and how it literally helps you to interface with reality and stuff like that, right? So, there's three main aspects of, you know what I'm saying, God, source, spirit, the most high, right? You have the creator aspect, the sustainer aspect, and the observer aspect. So the observer aspect, right, is just very detached from reality. It's just always perceiving reality, but it's not really like attached to it at all. Like, not that it doesn't care what happens, but it kind of doesn't care. It's just literally just watching this and just letting shit happen. You know what I'm saying? Then you have the sustaining aspect. This is the part of, you know what I'm saying, God, source, the most high, which actually sustains creation. It kind of keeps it going. Then you have the creator. That's the aspect of God that actually created things. You know what I'm saying? And the creator and the sustainer is kind of like the sustainer is more like the energy. You know what I'm saying? It's like the energy that just keeps us alive, you know what I'm saying? Then you have the creator. The creator actually kind of interacts with creation because it made creation. So you have these three words like source, spirit, and God, right? When you say source, that's more of like the detached aspect of God because when it says source, it's like what? Source consciousness, source energy, source intelligence. It's the source where all things came from, you know what I'm saying? And it's mainly related to source consciousness or like source awareness, right? Now, when you say source, source kind of has this connotation of when you connect to source, you may get that source energy, but it's not like a person though. Like when you say source, you don't really see it as like a person. Like granted, God isn't a person, but when you kind of interact with God as if it was a person, it responds back to you way more. So when you say source, it's like the very detached aspect of the Most High. It's kind of like the observer aspect. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like source is kind of just always there. And you could tap into the observer. When you tap into the observer, you tap into your own consciousness, your own awareness, and then you become the observer. And it could like this could also be linked to the sustainer because like you do get energy from being inside that state, but you become very detached from creation. So when you say source, that's great to like connect with the consciousness behind reality, but it's not going to help you interact with it as much. Now spirit, when you say spirit, this does give more of a connotation of something which interacts with you, but spirit is mainly for the sustaining aspect of creation because it's the spirit that sustains your spirit. You see what I'm saying? So source like source when you say source, it's more of the vibe of like the detached observer, which all things came from that awareness. You know what I'm saying? It came from that source consciousness. You know what I'm saying? Then you have spirit. That's like the sustaining energy which flows through all of us. But then you have the God. That's like the creator aspect, which literally seems personal to you. Now, when you start saying God and when you try to get in tune with God and like pray to God, it's like you're talking to source as if it was a person. And when you do this, it literally allows you to interface with reality more because now it's like what you're speaking to is like actually like an actual being that could respond to you. I'm not saying that source actually is a being because it transcends all being, but you're talking to the aspect of source that kind of is like a being because source did create all this shit. And when reality was created, it was done with very like it was done with consciousness and intent and intelligence. Like when this shit was being made, it wasn't just like random. This design is very intelligent. And if this design is intelligent, you need to have an intelligent designer that damn near kind of seems like a person. And that's where God comes from, and that's why they call God a him because it's the creative it's the part of source that actually makes things. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously, God is not a man. God's not a woman. God transcends all these things. But when you say God and call God a man, it's not saying like it's an actual man. It's saying the active aspect of God because masculine energy is active while feminine energy is passive. You see what I'm saying? So when you say God, you tap into the aspect of source which actually makes things. And when sources make this, it kind of is like a person in a sense. It's literally a consciousness that is aware of itself and is aware of creation. Is literally doing things to make it. So when you talk to God, you're talking to this aspect of source which actually does things, which actually has more of an effect inside your reality. You see what I'm saying? So like when you like want to like just connect with that energy, so it depends on how you want to do it. If you want to just like connect with that awareness, okay, tap into source. When you want to get energy from source, tap into spirit. And it's also good to like when you connect with like source as like spirit, it also helps you understand like why things happen and how energy is moving through all things. You kind of see how God moves through all things. So when you say spirit, it can kind of give a sense of interacting with creation, but it's not the same as saying God. Because with spirit, it's more about like when you say spirit, it's not as much as like I'm talking to the creator, but it's more like I'm noticing how the creator flows through all things naturally. So it's really good for like understanding how consciousness moves through everybody, but it's not always the best for actually interacting with that consciousness in order to help you, whether it's like manifest or get information. That's when you start saying God, because you start to literally, and it's crazy because when you say God too, it may give you a sense of like, but that's kind of good because sometimes that sense that you get that's kind of uncomfortable is kind of just you feeling crucified by that, which there is some religious scarring with that. Like religion always says that certain things are bad, but they're doing it in a way that's not actually based upon what the teaching actually meant. Like for example, having having romantic relations with your partner, right? Having, you know what I'm trying to say. I don't want to say the word because you know it's YouTube, but having sex, you know what I'm saying? That's not bad, you know what I'm saying? But if you're just sleeping around with all these people, it can become bad for several different reasons. Whether it's because of STDs, whether it's because you're just like acting out of lust and not true connection with the person. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could cause a lot of problems. You know what I'm saying? So that's why these things get called sins. Because what's a sin? A sin just means to miss the goal, to fail, to fall short. To fall short, miss the goal. What? The goal is simply just to be in tune with the highest part of yourself. When you're not doing that, you end up sinning. You see what I'm saying? So because of that, right? There is like the religious scarring of just saying that this shit is bad because we said so. But the thing is, certain shit actually isn't the best because certain shit that you do is not acted from your highest intelligence, and that is a sin. And when you start talking about God, it kind of does bring that up. Like, damn, like you might feel crucified saying God because some of you might literally be acting out of tune with with the highest part of yourself, and it's okay to feel that. Real talk, but it kind of also shows you like, damn, if I feel crucified by saying God, maybe if I stop doing these things, I'd have a closer connection with that thing. And if you have a closer connection, you'd actually be able to like connect with it and actually like have it like work with you because you are that thing. It's just that you are such a tiny aspect of it. Now, when you say source, that's great for just like connecting with the awareness and redeveloping that awareness. When you say spirit, it's great for obtaining that spiritual energy, and it's also great for like kind of like understanding how like because when you say like spirit, it's kind of like spirit take the wheel type shit. Like, nigga, like I don't have control of shit. I just let spirit move through me, and spirit moves through all things, and all things are the will of spirit. You know what I'm saying? But then when you say God, it's like you're talking to source as if it was actually a person, and God can actually interact with you now and show you things, whether it's through sides inside reality, whether it's through visions or dreams, whether it's through intuitive feelings and knowings. When you start to say God, it literally helps Source to interact with you as if Source was a person. You know what I'm saying? So saying God is not that bad. Yeah, you might feel a little bit uncomfortable, you know what I'm saying, which is because of the religious scarring, but it also could be because you're not acting in tune with that highest intelligence and it's trying to make you aware of that. You know what I'm saying? And the more you get in tune with that, you'd actually be able to interface with reality more. You'd actually be able to like manifest it easier because God will teach you how to do it and God will start to do things quote unquote for you. Now, God's not really doing things for you. It's more just the fact that you have an intent and you're putting it out into reality, and then reality is responding to you, showing you how to actually achieve that thing. And it's kind of like your person's kind of holding your hand, showing you how to do shit. It's like there's literally a person that's named God. Now, obviously, God's not a person, but you get my point. You can when you say God, it makes it more personal to you, and it can actually interact with you as if it was a person. You see what I'm saying? Source could do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the power of saying God. Don't sleep on saying God. I'm not gonna lie, nigga. That's it's and and I'm saying that because I've actually experienced it, and I've experienced the different energies of these words. Now, granted, we could all interpret words differently, but that's how kind of I see it. Source is more like the detached observer. When you say source, it's like it's just the awareness that it's just the awareness that all things come from, but it's not really interacting with creation. It's kind of just there, just observing it and just kind of being detached from it, not caring what the fuck happens. And it's still good to connect with that because you gotta connect with the observer. You gotta connect with that part of yourself that's detached from all things. You know what I'm saying? But then you have spirit that teaches you how, like I said, how source moves through all things, and then God is how you actually interact with that thing that moves through all things. Now let's talk about astral books and what they are. So I've been reading this astral book called The Book of Life and Death. I actually got it in the astral a few nights ago, right? Now that's not the first time I got an astral book. There was one time where like I time traveled to get a book that I already wrote, but like in the future. You know what I'm saying? And I've been reading that book too. And I also got this one book that I call The Darkhold. When I was like fighting, I was trying to help somebody out with a demon problem, and when I went to their town, there's like this book that was lying on the ground, and it's pretty much a book of like dark magic and how it works and like malevolent magic. Now, I'm not doing no evil shit, but when you read the book, you understand how this evil shit works and how to kind of dismantle it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I want to bring this up because astral books, right? You kind of read them inside of your mind. So when I first got my book, it was called Genie Dot's Guide to Life and Immortality, right? That's the book that I wrote. And it's actually like a big ass journal that contains like 12 books for the 12 plays of what I experienced through every plane. You know what I'm saying? And I've been reading my own shit. But it's like when I do it, it's like I'm just downloading information. Like all I have to do is like think about the book, you know what I'm saying, and just feel the energy. And I could just start downloading shit from it. And you could do the same exact thing. Like you could go to the astral and go to libraries, right? Like I've done this before also. Like let me show y'all this one place called the Universal Hall of Records, right? This is a realm that exists from 9D through 11D, and it literally contains. I mean, it's called the Universal Hall of Records. It contains the records of the whole universe. It pretty much contains all the teachings inside the universe. You know what I'm saying? Let me show y'all real quick in a PowerPoint. This is my four course of Galactic. This is a different PowerPoint. You know what I'm saying? This is I put this on Patreon. You know what I'm saying? About galactic history, the four quarters, what happened during them. I recommend watching that shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is the one I want to go to. Let me actually move my thing from over there to over here. Yeah, I just record different like realms that I visit and dimensional spaces and whatnot. Like I got This place is fucking lit. I'm not gonna cap. This is lit as fuck. Um, Let me actually pause this and just get to the point because it's kind of lagging my shit right now. Hold up, nigga. What the fuck? This place, right? By the way, I made these images myself with AI. It's crazy because I've been going to this place since like last year. Well, technically, it's probably like been 2 years by now. Because you know what I'm saying. But anyway, I've been going here for like at least a year, and I've always wanted to make pictures for it, but the AIs that I use always kind of sucked. Then I got that Instagram AI and shit was lit. It really does kind of look like this. You know what I'm saying? Now when you go here, right, there's several different books here. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the way that these books work. I've experienced books in different ways. Like one time, like here's how it kind of works. Like I'll touch a book, and like as I'm touching, I'll just be downloading the information from the book. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not just sitting there reading the pages. Granted, though, there has been times like I've been inside the astral. Like one time I remember specifically, I left my body and I got a book off one of my top shelves. Right. I thought it was gonna be a book I have in real life, but it wasn't. It was like just like this random book, like this random astral book, and I opened it, like actually read it like it was an actual book. And the page I opened to give me this dragon mantra from my dragon flame. You know what I'm saying? It was like hoorah, something like that. I wrote it down. You know what I'm saying? But long story short, so I have read books like where I might turn the pages type shit. You know what I'm saying? But normally, right, if I want to be like effective with it, like I would go here and like I would touch a book and then just like download all the information. Sometimes I would get like visions of what the book's talking about. Other times I've like went inside the book, especially when it comes to like history books. And when it comes to like history shit, right? I'll normally like touch the book and I'll like start downloading information. But then it's like I'll be like seeing the history. So like one like for example, like I've read books about, galactic history, you know what I'm saying, in the four quarters. And like what would happen is like I would touch the book and then I'll just like start just seeing shit. You know what I'm saying? Now granted, I can always just go through my own past like memories of what the fuck happened. You know what I'm saying? I could easily just do that. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes I don't want to do that. Sometimes I just want to see it from like the record's perspective. So like when I open the record, I'll literally like be put back in that time and I'll be like observing it like as if like I was actually there. I'm just seeing the events past, you know what I'm saying? So you could read astro books in many different ways. When you like obtain astral books, you could read them either like in the astral by just holding on to it, and then like either like you'll like see visions or like you'll be transported to the place or you'll just download the information. But you could also read them while in the physical. Just simply just sit down and meditate on the book and then just download information from the book. Like with the most recent book I got, right? I actually got it from UNESCO. Like I was in the astral and I think I either I got this book from a person or I got it from the person or I stole it or I just found it. Because like when I was in the astral, I kept on like falling like unaware, but I still knew I was in the astral. Like I remember I had just got the book and I was very happy. And I was showing my boy King Cash the book when I was in the astral, right? But at the same time, I knew I was in the astral and I was kind of upset because I'm like, damn, I can't bring this book back to the physical. But I still knew I could access the book, and I definitely been doing that. The whole entire book is about like life and death, like what life is, what death is, the different forms of life. You know what I'm saying? How to channel life force energy, what happens after death, how to transcend death, different places that you may go after death. It's a huge book just about life and death, right? So far, I learned a lot about like artificial intelligence and artificial life. And I've also learned about zombies. And I've also learned about harnessing life force energy and kind of like what that's like. You know what I'm saying? So I'll kind of bridge that into the last because this video is about to hit 30 minutes. So I'll bridge that to the last topic about like how life force energy affects you, right? So all energy has an intelligence because what is energy? When scientists say energy, they're usually referring to electromagnetic radiation, which is also light. You know what I'm saying? Now, electromagnetic radiation is produced by intelligence and willpower. You know what I'm saying? Like electric waves are generated by thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Magnetic waves are generated by emotions. Literally, we could prove this by just looking up with science, right? Now that deals with like thoughts and emotions do with intelligence and willpower. You know what I'm saying? So literally, all energy carries intelligence. So like, when you sustain yourself off the energy of the earth, there's also intelligence inside that energy. You know what I'm saying? And that's why inside of Taoist immortality practices, like I think it's called Nadon or something like that, they'll mention connecting with the energy of the heavens and the earth, but they'll also tell you that when you connect with these energies, connect to like the primordial energy of it. So it's like you can get energy from the earth as it is right now, but you could also tap into the original energy of the earth, the primordial earth energy, which contains a lot of primordial earth wisdom. Same with the heavenly energies from the stars. You could tap into the current energy of it or the primordial original energy of the stars also. And it'll actually teach you different things. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same. This is why you have the term spirits, because these are intelligent energies. Like even with entities, right? Entities will oftentimes like malevolent entities, or just well, yeah, malevolent entities, right? When they want to like take you over, what they usually do is they just project their spirits onto you. They project their energy onto you, and that also controls your thoughts. So, for example, if you have a succubus, right, that's an entity. And one way that they get you is by projecting lust onto you. Now, when you feel the energy of lust, you get horny. You know what I'm saying? But you also start to have certain thoughts. You have lustful thoughts. That's the intelligence of that energy. So I'm saying this because you can sustain yourself off various different energies. Like you have elemental energies, you have the energy of the earth, you have the energy of the heavens and the stars, but you also have the energy of different planes in general. So you have physical energy, etheric and emotional energy. You have astral energy, you have mental and galactic energy, you have heavenly and causal energy. You know what I'm saying? Really though, I should really say you have physical energy, etheric energy, astral energy, mental and galactic energy, spiritual energy, architectural energy, eternal energy, celestial energy, divine energy. And then after that, you just have different kinds of consciousnesses. You know what I'm saying? Like you have Godhead consciousness, you have absolute consciousness, you have transcendental consciousness. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying these things because like for example, when you channel 9D energy, that's divine energy. And when you do that, it sustains your vessel, or at least an aspect of your vessel. Because technically, this vessel could not be sustained off pure divine energy. However, you could channel divine energy, and then that energy could condense itself into celestial, eternal, architectural, spiritual, and eventually get to physical energy. You see what I'm saying? Now, of course, now physical energy, right, is the energy of the physical plane. But understand that there's several different physical energies. Like you have fire energy, water energy. You see what I'm saying? Same with divine energy. Like you have divine energy, which is the energy of the 9D, but like there's different aspects of divine energy. Now with the 9D, right, the 9D contains the divine universal template, right? So when you channel divine energy, you're aligning yourself to that template. Now, inside that template, it contains the template behind all realities. So all realities, like yeah, they look like for example, different galaxies, right? They're all different, but there's still a certain template to them. You know what I'm saying? And if we want to like make like a easy example, you can see like you have all these different galaxies, but they're always usually a spiral. So that kind of tells you that at the base level, galaxies kind of have to be spiral like. Now, great, I'm sure it's like the cigar galaxy. That's just not a fucking spiral. Like I could look it up real quick. Hold up. You know what I'm saying? Let's do that. Cigar. Let me. You mean? Let me show y'all. Hold up. Not cigarette, but cigar galaxy. This is actually a really cool galaxy. But yeah, this shit. I mean, it kind of. I mean, if you want to be real, it kind of does have a spiral effect a little bit. You can't really tell. Like this shit is obviously a spiral. You know what I'm saying? This shit is like nigga what? This is the cigar galaxy, you know what I'm saying? This shit don't really look like a spiral like that. So I'm not saying that all galaxies really like literally are spirals. You know, this shit. I mean, kind of. You can see where it might be like a spiral somewhere. But my whole entire point is right on a base level. A lot of galaxies are spiral based. So that kind of tells you that the temp. That kind of tells you in a sense that there's a template behind how these galaxies are made. Now, granted, not all galaxies kind of look the same, but you get my point. What I'm trying to say, right? All realities have a certain template. Like for example, like the 7 rays of light is part of the template, which I'm not gonna be able to break down in this video fully how I want to because we hit 30 minutes, but I'm gonna finish my point. So with divine energy, right? When you channel divine energy, you can link yourself to different parts of the template, whether it's the 7 rays of light, whether it's kind of like the purpose behind art, because there's also a certain basis too, right? Behind all realities, right? What's that basis? Self realization and self actualization. You know what I'm saying? That's inside of every reality. Like even realities where you're going against source, because that still helps you with self realization. Because you get to experience different aspects of yourself to help you realize more about who you actually are, even if it's malevolent. You see what I'm saying? So at the basis, all realities contain the purpose of self realization, and self actualization. So first you realize what you are, then you actually actualize that inside reality. You see what I'm saying? That's a that's a purpose that's in the template of all realities. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, when you align with divine energy, it could align you to that. It could align you to that purpose or different aspects of the template. You see what I'm saying? Now, there's several other energies too, and I'm saying this because when you start to actually be able to perceive life force energy and the different kinds of life force energy, those life force energies can also affect like your intelligence. Like for example, if you're always absorbing fire energy, you're gonna become a bit more fiery. You may become a bit more assertive, a bit more passionate. You know what I'm saying? If you're taking in water energy, you might become a bit more like emotional. You know what I'm saying? And there's also the life force energy of like the lion. You could like tap into the life force of a lion, which is like the spirit of lions. You know what I'm saying? The intelligent energy of lions, and that can make you more lion like. So I wanted to mention how inside the book they're talking about how to sustain yourself off life force energy, but also how the different life force energies which you take inside of yourself, right? They're going to affect your intelligence and kind of how you think and how you behave. They affect you like some life force energies, right, are very virtuous. You know what I'm saying? Other life force energies keep you. They're like very like viceful. They kind of keep you bound. Like for example, lust that could keep you bound. Love can make you breed virtue though. You know what I'm saying? There's an energy behind love. You see what I'm saying? That's why you have the term spirits, because these are intelligent energies, because all energies technically are spirits. You have these energies that you could like sustain your vessel off of, or sustain other, like you could sustain your etheric vessel, your astral vessel. Like you get these different energies. You have these different energies which can sustain different parts of yourself, but while they're sustaining you, they're also kind of giving you their intelligence too. So if you're living off of fire energy, you're also gonna have the intelligence of fire, kind of act a bit more fiery, and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? If you're feeding, like even if you're like feeding off of like a tree, because there's been time, like, I remember one time I was literally outside and I was getting hungry, and I just touched the tree, and I was absorbing the energy of the tree, and I stopped being hungry. But now, granted, I wasn't fully tapping into the intelligence of the energy, but it was influencing my thoughts also. You know what I'm saying? Like I was becoming more like the tree. You know what I'm saying? And if I really wanted to, I probably could have tapped into like, cause I still remember what the energy felt like. You know what I'm saying? And as I'm tapping into it, even right now, I'm kind of feeling the energy of a tree, and it's like I'm kind of like I could tap into the perspective of the tree, which sounds weird, but it's like I could kind of feel like how that tree kind of perceives life. And I could separate how that tree perceives life versus this other tree that I touch inside my backyard. Like the one in my backyard is very like authoritative. I mean, shit, the tree is big as shit. You know what I'm saying? It has like this like authoritative energy to it. Meanwhile, the one that I was talking about that I touched when I was outside, I went somewhere. You know what I'm saying? That tree it has like this more like this calm vibe. It's like this calm but also intelligent vibe. You know what I'm saying? The tree in my backyard is like very bold and very authoritative. And it kind of like wants to teach you a bit in a way where it's like, I'm going to tell you these things. The other tree is more like, it's not really, it doesn't really feel like it's going to, like you could definitely learn from the tree, but it's not saying like, I'm going to teach you these things. It's more like, it kind of shows you kind of like how to be calm and observe life. And as you observe life, you kind of gain this certain intelligence and wisdom about life by just observing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's all different kinds of life force energies. And when you're starting to actually like take in these energies, it does affect your intelligence too. You know what I'm saying? So be aware of that. So like that could be good though, because if you want to become more fiery and more assertive, okay, feed off of fire energy. You want to become more emotional, feed off of water energy. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's this week's Genie Talk. You know what I'm saying? Hope you enjoyed it. Like the video, subscribe if you're new. I love you. I'm gonna catch you in my next video. Peace, the freak out.